Hey guys, and welcome to the all-new different rebirthcast, the podcast where I talk about the comics and other comic-related and video games or whatever I want to talk about. Podcast where I talk about stuff, all kind of cool stuff. Today we're talking about the comics that came out this week. We have a bunch, so we're gonna just jump into this. Starting off with Archie number 17 came out this week, continuing the awesomeness by Mark Wood, who's writing this, who's one of my favorite writers in comics. It is a really good comic. I really enjoyed this. This is the 17th issue, so we've gotten pretty far into the comic by now. A lot of stuff has happened. This issue is about Archie, and he gets a text from this mysterious girl, who in the comic is Chelsea Blossom, and who's a complete bitch, and we do not like her in this. And we find out that Veronica, she's ready to go home, but she can't until she completes all the work and gets everything done. And she gets all the work done, and then this guy's like, nope, you have to make a final outfit or something. And then you can go home, and I'll do it I'll look at it when I want to look at it. Not like, oh, you did it? I'll look at it later. Not in any hurry to do it done. He's like, take your time, whatever. And the person who Mr. Lodge, whatever, the guy who got kicked out of school, who was Betty's uncle or something. And then we see Archie getting stuff from the admirer, who is Chelsea, tickets. And the comic's a little loud. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I don't know why it's showing up. It's just the comic, but I'm doing it because I'm looking at it just to get memory. Because these comics I read a couple weeks ago, so it's been 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. So don't hate on me if I don't remember. And he gets a guitar, tickets. Jughead gets money for burgers. Betty gets some new tool equipment. Everybody gets what they want. As he shows a video of her saving this guy, acting like the person because he also likes people to help him. And then Veronica has a plan put in place to get him in the suit to make him look really nice. And then he's like, yeah, go pack. And then she's like, yeah, my plane's leaving in 2 hours. She planned this all out. And we get back to her finally getting to meet Archie and find out he's a complete klutz. But if you read Archie comic, he's a complete idiot who's a goofball. And by that I mean he's a klutz. He gets into crazy scenarios and just stuff happens to him. And when it comes back at the end, kisses him and then says, hey, I found out you was a complete buyer, but you guys shouldn't be poor. You should be still rich. What's the deal? And everyone ends. I'm kind of curious to find out what happens in issue 18, what's coming out next week, actually. I'm super excited. Really good. Really enjoy it. Next issue is going to be awesome. So that's it for Archie. That's the first comic we have on our list today. I'm going to look what else we got here. Let's do Power Rangers next. It's the only other indie comic I have, and we'll get over it. My one Power Rangers issue Quo came out by Kyle Higgins. Probably my favorite comic, if not my favorite. This is probably my favorite comic that comes out, surprisingly enough. This is just a well-rounded series, great art, great story. This is about the Rangers being in the Green Ranger, and who was Tommy, and Billy, the Blue Ranger, in another universe. The Green Ranger became a mix of the Green and White Ranger, and he was evil. And then the Green Ranger, Tommy, the one from the regular Oz, had the White Ranger's saber, or whatever the thing called. I think it's called saber. And they called the giant white saber sword to, help, and then the Falcon, and then they kind of do it so they escape out of the thing. They go back to the regular for Rita still has the command center taken over, and Billy and them are missing, and they're trying to figure out stuff. And then they go back, and the saber tells them basically everything about what happens, the whole origin of everything, about what happens, how this world becomes what it is, how all the different Rangers and everything have to fight together to stop it, and how they lose. And basically, it looks like, from what it looks like, Jason died. Yeah, Jason died. Jason is killed, and some of the other Rangers might be dead. Who knows? If you didn't, here we see. It looks like we have it looks like the 2 Yellow Rangers. Maybe the one. It looks like the 2 Yellow Rangers. It looks like, from my knowledge, the one who's in the series now, who was the fake Yellow Ranger, and then the second Yellow Ranger, what it looks like. And then it looks like Bulk or Skull. I kind of think which one's, is it Bulk or Skull? Skull? Okay, for some reason I'm having it's one of them, Bulk or Skull, I forget which one. Yeah, the fat one, if you know what I mean. Yeah, for some reason I don't remember which one's which. For some reason, that's gonna bite me that I can't remember which one's which. And yeah, I want to see what's. Then we have the ongoing adventures of Buckle, with them stopping the giant robot or whatever. And then towards the end, and it's like, is this gonna be the end for Bulk and Skull Adventure? Are we gonna get any more? Who knows? And even with the end, it's weird because even if they kind of end like a story arc, it would go into like next issue. So is this the end for the series? But it's not that popular, and people are like, we don't care that much about the young events of Vulcan Skull. He's okay, but nothing we would want to read. I don't know, but we'll see what happens in the next issue. Like I said, not a lot happened in this particular issue, but it explains a lot of what happened on the other world and them escaping stuff. I'm excited to see where the book goes. It's been an amazing book. Every issue I'm excited to read. It's like one of the best comics out now. I hope you guys really go on and pick. That's the one out of every comic I'm getting. That's my favorite. So that's the one I would recommend the most. Even if you're not a Power Rangers fan, or it's to say you want to get into Power Rangers, that's a good way to get into it. Because I think now that's setting a standard that the show. I'm gonna get this straight up. That's better than the show, 100%. But we're gonna move on. Cause I'm talking on Power Rangers way too long, and we got like 6 comics to go through. I've already gotten through. This will be the third one, and we're halfway through this. It is Gwenpool number 12 came out, and you'll believe we're Gwenpool. This is my favorite comic, by Marvel. I like it better than Deadpool. I know I'm gonna be one of those guys who say that. I'm a Deadpool fan. I like my Deadpool. I like the Merc with the mouth, Chimichanga loving badass. But I gotta give Deadpool. It has some humor. Especially I just read this is issue 12. I just read issue 13. But the time of recording this, and it was oh god, it made me love him. Because you understand once we get into this review. But Gwenpool is trapped on this island place, and she kind of figure out to get out. She kind of remember he says earlier she's trying to find a mission. And talking to one of her old teammates and stuff, and then he breaks the door down, and there's her old teammate Tommy and Tony. I said Tommy. Tony. Apparently just on the brain, and then them like trying to get out, and they kind of have a thing where it seems like Tony doesn't has a kind of like a not Beav is a little mad at her for some reason for the things. There was a bunch of frogs that she has to stop, and she gets rid of them, and then she finds out. We find the other 2 members of the team are here. Badrock, and Sarah. The other 2 members of the team. So basically, it's the full team again. It's cool to see them back, except for the ghost guy. And then they go into this room, and they find out this is like a fantasy like dungeon kind of thing. And you find the guy who's selling all the weapons and everything. And find some of their stuff, and then Gwenpool immediately, without hesitation, just grabs the sword and cuts the old man's head off. I'm like, whoa, you usually cut to the chase there. Head goes off, and that scene it does show like wires and stuff, so we know it's for robots. There's nothing to worry about. And we find that this monster telling him, or this entity, whatever this thing is, telling her like, hey, this is what you have to do to get out, and then he's like, you're Arcade, the villain Arcade. And he's like, no, I'm not. And then he's like, how'd you figure out who I am? He's like, this dungeon, I've done it like 100 times, like in a broad sense and stuff. So it's like, yeah, he gets everybody back their weapons, and then they're all dressed up in like nice uniforms and stuff. It's very fun showing them going through the dungeon and fighting people. And then Tony goes into the front room where it says the bees. He goes in, and we see an arm come out. Arm look a little weird. It looks a little like has spots on it. It's weird. And then you see Tony come out, and he said a dumb thing. He shoots in, and we see another hand pick up the other hand, and we see a yellow speech bubble. If anybody knows anything about comics or Marvel comics, or the specific character, you know what this is. And we get Deadpool. Finally, Deadpool and Gwenpool are crossing over. It's something I'm excited, because they're both kind of like the same character, except Gwenpool's a little better. Sorry, Deadpool, Leon fans. I am a Gwenpool fan, a little more than I am of Deadpool. Like, Deadpool's cool, and I'm a big fan of Deadpool, the movie, comics, games, everything. He's amazing. But I like Gwenpool better, just my opinion. I'm not going to say, like, is Gwenpool, like, super amazing better? I wouldn't go, like, it's not, like, she is better, but I wouldn't say by, like, it's not by that. I wouldn't say by that much, actually. It's actually a decent bit, but it's not too much. Like, they're pretty even. But I do like Deadpool more. Has a lot of things I like more about it. It's Deadpool, but it's also kind of different. So it's kind of a very unique comic, and I really do like it. I really think it's fun and enjoy it. And with Deadpool at the end, so the next issue we get their encounter. That's what I'm talking about. The next issue has their encounter, and it's so awesome. Some of the lines. When we get to that one, we will talk about it, because it has some of the best lines I've read in a Gwenpool comic yet. They made me laugh, made me like, that's awesome. This book is awesome, and you should feel awesome reading it, because it's one of the best books out. I think by Marvel, the most fun book at Marvel probably right now. It's just a fun book. It's awesome, and I like how they bring back old characters like Arcade, who was also I think in the Electra book. To my knowledge, I think I saw he was also in the Electra book, so they're bringing back multiple books. Bringing back characters that probably nobody even remembers. Like, oh yeah, that guy's a villain and he's still a thing, and it's awesome. And the cover's awesome. So let's dig into next. For DC stuff, oh, my nose is a little runny, but I said below it before I left. But we have 3 more books, so we can do this. Batman Team Return number 4 came out. Batman is going into the crowd, stopping the fear gas, and it seems like it's affecting him. Something he sees all his enemies and Scarecrow, and they're beating him. And then we see still the Joker has taken over, and Harley's taken over the Thing, where the Shredder is, and the other teams are fighting. The other team was April and Batgirl and Robin. Everybody are fighting. What's the Clan for Clan? And they're like robots and they're destroying them and everything. And Batman is captured with the other 2 teams, the Turtles, Leonardo and Raphael. And they have to break out, and Batman clocks him on the head, Scarecrow. And then Batman escapes and he jumps through the portal and gets out, or somebody grabs him and he goes out. Whatever the case may be, Batman's hired. He gets the other 2 out, and then they go and find the other team finds Harley Quinn, and then they get into then they start the big old fight. All the teams get together, start off with one team, then the rest of the team come in to show up, and they get into the giant fight, and it's really awesome. This is just a really awesome book. And Feder gets his arms back and like, take your guys and leave. And they find out there's this little chippy thing what's been controlling people, and we find out it's by Mr. Mad Hatter, and that's where this issue ends. It's a pretty self-explanatory issue, and I really like the ending, because I was like, it feels like this is going to end in this issue. Like, it's going to maybe end in this issue. Maybe have one more issue where they have a super giant battle. But yeah, this issue was really good, and I really liked it. And we get to see some cool Mad Hatter who hasn't been in the series yet, so I like how they're keep adding more and more characters who are really cool. And it looks like we're going to get some more here eventually. So yeah, this book is really awesome. I'm excited to read more. This is just flat out one of the... It's a good book. There's nothing I can say about it other than it's a really good book. And this is issue 4. And I think there's only 6 issues. I'm not sure. Really, I'm not sure how many issues this is. I think it's only 6. But I could be wrong. It could be 8. Either way, am I going to be happy either way? Yeah. If it's 8 issues, I feel like that's I think a little too long for this. If it ends in issue 6, then there's 2 more issues. If it's an 8, that means the 2 more after that means the 4 more issues. I feel like that's a lie for this, but it could be because I think the original one was 8. But I think that one's a little shorter, so I think it's 6. But that's really good. Now we move on to the next comic, because we have 2 more comics to talk about. Let's talk about this one first. Mother Panic number 3 came out. A comic that I've been really digging and enjoying, and it's been just a lot of fun. It's one of the comics I got issue 1 and 2 at Book Dominion, picked them up because I've been wanting to read it. It was the only DC book at the time I was not reading, because it was a newer character. It's a new character. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I mean, I probably am, but I was like, I wasn't sure. So like, I can, and if I do like it, that's another book I'm gonna want to get, and I just don't know if I want to do that. I read the first 2 issues. I'm gonna be getting the series from now on. I'll try to be getting the series now on, because it's damn good, as everything else by DC Young Animals is flawless. All the books are flawless, and we're going to jump into it. Issue 4 was the final part to A Walk in Progress. Part 3, this seems to be the final podcast for the first story arc. It's called A Walk in Progress. Really cool. It's with Batman, obviously, first, talking to Batwoman and how they know of this new character, Mother Panic, and how they need to, talk to her and see if she's a good guy, a bad guy, what the deal is, find stuff about her. And then we see pieces of her past, about when she was a kid and stuff, what's really cool throughout the series. So we get to learn more about how she became who she is and stuff about her past, and how it's pretty screwed up. It's kind of screwed up, pretty much, for a superhero story. And especially with DC one, a lot of people, the past are not really as screwed up, but this is pretty, her, basically, from what I can get from the last issue, shot her father. If that's not shooting your own father, it's not messed up, I don't know what is, but that's basically, from what it looked like, what happened, so... Because he was going to do some stuff that, not him, but he was going to give it to this other guy to do some stuff. It's just really weird, and we're not going to get into it, because we're not talking about that issue, but we're talking about this one. And it shows her on the device lying down, and she meets Batwoman, and they get into a little thing. and they fight. See them fight. It's like, and this is cool. Also, it shows that hey, we're in the Batman universe. We're in the DC universe 100%. They did so in the other issues because the other issues you did see Batman and they obviously they're in Gotham and stuff. We know they are, but I like this. It's kind of like a real hard defense. Even though the other two did show Batwoman, one showed Batwoman in the first issue showed Batman, and the second issue showed Batwoman. But this is cool to see them fighting and see them actually not having a conversation, and them fighting. And she goes off and escapes, and he goes to look for the things he's looking for, and he finds all these kids in this thing, locked up in this thing, as he breaks one and one escapes, and then the other guy, the other girl who's there, just takes the whole place to burn. It's like the place catches on fire and starts burning, as he has to save. He sees the kids like all burning from some past, so he has to save them, and she does. He gets all out of there, saves the. And then a back one comes in like, hey, you did a good job. You did good. You did good, kid, for the first time. And, saying like, yeah, you're not too bad, but we'll keep an eye on you. Then she goes to the other guy who she beat up earlier and gets to run some matches and finds some stuff out. And it shows more stuff about her past, about her going to this school, from what I've seen, and because I have read issue 4 at this point. It's showing you some stuff that's going to happen on how the school may not be the perfect school. You don't really see that too much. You see a little bit here, but you don't see it as much. But you're going to find out what the deal is with school, and she's getting treated by somebody who's like a doctor, somebody who helps her know the secret. And then we see the other guy talking to her mother and stuff, and how that's so. Yeah, I'm to be continued. We're not done yet. We have Gotham Radio Scene 3, Semi-Addicted. Now I just noticed because this one says Scene 3, and is this issue 3? Yeah. I read issue 4, and the one in issue 4 says Gotham Radio Scene 3 as well. I think that's probably just a mess up. It's supposed to be Scene 4. But whatever the case may be, this is a 3-page comic, so you don't get a lot. They've thrown a lot of text to try to get as much in this particular studio to get, because there's only 3 pages, to get enough of the story out so you feel like, okay, you're getting each issue. You might be only 3 pages, but you get more with each issue, and I like that. The issue 4 was really good because it did give you some cool stuff. This one's cool, showing her talking to this new guy who's taking over the place of the other person who died, and how he doesn't like the bad or something or whatever, and how he's kind of a dick and mean and basically an asshole like everybody else. That's pretty cool. And also, and that was it. I'm not saying it's cool because he was an asshole. It was a good story. Had a great artist on it who I know the artist of it. Phil Hester, who he did some stuff for Green Arrow back in the day, and he's done other stuff. He did a new Static Shock comic for DC New 52, and he's done other stuff. I've seen his work before, especially in Green Arrow. It's the thing I know him from the most. He's a good artist. I like him. And that's when last but not least, at the end of every issue, they have character files or certain things on characters. This one has it on the Chief and Roar Band. It's pretty cool. So that's cool. That's it for Mother Panic issue 3. The last book is issue 5 of Cape Cotton has 7 Night Guy. Now, this episode is not going on as long as I thought it would be. I'm actually doing it pretty concise. I'm not talking forever about the books. I'm just going in, talking about it. Yeah, we're up to about 18-something minutes, and we're on the last book. And I have 6 books here, so I'm surprised I talked about them all this short. We have Cape Cotton has 7 Night Guy issue 5. We're going to open up this by Gray Ward. And John, it's Jon. John, I want to say John, but I know John has an H in it because I know people who, yes, is it John, whatever, Ravine, I'm not good with names. And then Michael Omings, the guy who does Powers, if you know Powers, the artist for Powers, that's a book that I know he's pretty well known for, with by Michael Bendis. So yeah, this is G5, and his art actually really works in this book. And I mean, like in this first, it starts off with explaining backstory about what's going on and stuff. It's the story. It's taking backstory, and so it's the other team coming in and finding that crate, and then finding all these monsters, and there's all these monsters and stuff. The good guys and stuff. The bad guys, let's go back. The good guys, I guess, kind of good guys, kind of bad guys, because some people on the other team are good and bad who are underground with Cape Costin. In another, whatever those things are, they go underground. I forget what they call cave drivers, diggers, whatever they go. And then everybody's, I'm having a hard time describing what's going on. Cave's daughter Chloe, goes and hangs out with the other guys, swimming with the other people, and we see Cave and the other talking about the prince and princess and stuff about what's going on and planning on stuff and stuff from the past and giving some more information about stuff. And then we see probably one of my favorite scenes. It does it like in one scene. It gives you the whole origin for Wild Dog in one panel, one scene. It takes up most of the page, but shows everything, him being from a football player and getting the injury, to being in the army, to losing his wife. And then shows him as a Wild Dog in the back. It tells you his complete origin without saying a single word, and I like that. Except for he does say stuff like, my life isn't a fucking nightmare. Well, it is. His is specifically because he's had to deal with a lot of stuff in his life. And then we see one of the buildings explode. Where Cave was with the two, Cave leaders and everything. And then everything is going astray. And one of the members gets one of the guys from the other team who they thought were like, hey, we have this feeling that something bad's going on. He gets stabbed. And they take him out. And, we need to find Cave because he's the one. We need to find Cave because he's, the good guy. And we finally figured out, these guys are assholes, so these three leave to go find Cave. And then this other guy gets shot. No, wait, that's one of the bad guys, so it doesn't matter. Cave, and then we see Cave cost. And we see who did it. It was Wild Dog, and he's, gone. It looked like he's going kind of crazy, maybe. I don't know. Or it's just being, his military stuff, and they all get back to the thing. And then he tries to call somebody, and it is Superman, obviously, because he used to know Superman, actually. And then he's like, it's been a while. Maybe Superman got a new number. It's been a long time. He got a new phone or something. So, yeah, that sucks, because that would have probably... The story would have ended pretty quickly if Superman came into the story. Well, it wouldn't have ended that quickly, but it would have ended, it probably might have ended a lot sooner than it will. Which is cool. I do like the idea that Superman was referenced in this. And then we see them well, if anyone has a plan B, I should love to hear it. So they don't know what to use, and ends with to be continued. So we get to find out what happens next in the next issue. It's really good. I don't know yet. This also has the Cliff and Robot Man thing where it talks about the character, all the information about him and stuff. That's the same each month for that. Usually the same for every book in each month, unless it doesn't have it. Sometimes they might not have it. It might be if no new characters come out this month, then they might not do that. Because there's no new characters to do it, you can't really do it. Then we have Superpowers by Tom Skull. This is the bonus comic that comes out. The bonus comic that's in this book, because every book almost has a 3-page bonus comic almost. They'll have a little bonus story. There's a weird one that has to do with the Wonder Twins, Wonder Woman, Batwoman, Joker. It's just a weird thing. I don't know what the deal is with this. It kind of makes sense. It feels like this would be they all make sense in a story, but I'm kind of confused a little bit about this. It's hard to explain because it feels like it's just I understand what's going on. The Green Lanterns are fighting the Joker and his army, and something I have to go with the Earth, and there's just so much going on. It's I don't know, and he jumps around a lot. So it's what's going on? I don't have the slightest idea. I'm jumping around so much. But it is fun. I do like it how it's made in an old school comic book style. It's great. There's only 3 pages. They're not fun. They're not bad. It just jumps around. So I'm I don't know what's going on. But they are fun. I do enjoy it. So I do like it. So yeah. That's it for this issue. We had about 6 comics we went through today. Probably mostly with DC. I would say we had 3 DC comics. 1 Marvel, 2 Indies. They're not bad. Stack of comics we had to talk about on today on the podcast. That's it for this episode of the all-new Different rebirthcast. I hope you guys enjoy. Go pick out some cool comics. If any of these sound interesting, go check them out. If you want to... some of these I might say you might want to start in the beginning, because some of them, if they're not that far ahead, if it's only up to issue 5 or less, you can go if you want to. I would say maybe start issue 1 or something to kind of draw you into it, because some of these jumping into it issue 5 and stuff might not be the best idea. But as I said, go read some cool comics. Go check out some comics. You don't have to check out these. You can check out there's all kinds of great comics out there. Just go read some comics. Support your comic book stores, and you can always stay epic. And I'll see you in the next rebirthcast. The all new, all different rebirthcast. Bye, guys.